before departure, may we have your attention while we demonstrate some safety features on board this Boeing 737 aircraft.
Today I am not sewing, but I thought that as I am going on holiday wearing predominantly vintage-inspired clothing, you can enjoy instead maybe a nice laid-back holiday vlog as I go hiking. Okie dokie, so I've made it to Dublin. I'm currently on the coach from the airport to the city centre, and I should probably get there relatively soon. I'm going to see if I can get into the castle, and I forgot to pre-book my tickets, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, and I have about a full day until 4:30 p.m. when I'm catching the bus to Belfast. God, my hair looks absolutely funky and questionable, but you know what? Historical accuracy, like, it'd be freezy sometimes. Most things were closed on a Sunday, but I managed to find the small Brazilian cafe. I don't know what I'm eating here. I don't remember the name. It is a potato bread with white cheese inside. So by complete coincidence, I stumbled across this museum. I'm just walking around on 14 Henrietta Street, and it is a museum of a single house that went from being a luxury townhouse for the elites in the 18th century to being the tenement house of the worst sort of living conditions, beating even the slums of London. And generally, if you have a chance, I really recommend going, because I think, honestly, this has been the best introduction to Dublin history I probably could have had, because it covers quite a bit of the history, and the tour guide, Pat, was a lovely local man, but actually grew up in a tenement house. It was also lovely hearing his, lived experience. Definitely pre-book, however, because I managed to snag the last ticket for the day and the walk-ins, so definitely pre-book. Yeah. And now I'm going to walk to the Decorative Arts Museum and see if I can make it on foot. It opens at 1 and I have about half an hour to walk, so I think it's pretty doable. Dodgy alleyways, my beloved. So, fit check of the day number 1. I was actually very happy with this. My checked shirt and dungaree combo, or dungaree apron dress combo, was actually very comfortable to wear. This has honestly been quite a quaint little residential street. To my right, don't know my lefts and rights, is a church, and then apparently you just turn right here into the Museum of Decorative Arts. The Guinness factory. Oh, how shaky is my walk. The Decorative Arts Museum was very large, and honestly, I am very sad that I didn't have more time to explore. I made the general mistake to turn right when I walked in instead of left, and I went to the decorative arts section before I went to the military section, because I thought military, but actually walking through the museum, I really regret not seeing more of the military section, and I definitely should have gone there first, so I definitely recommend that. Decorative Arts Museum section was alright. It reminded me a lot of the V&A actually. But I think because I wanted more information to do with the history of Dublin and Ireland, I probably would have been better off going to the military section, because that focuses more on the history of the country than the history of, well, interiors and objects. Although, of course, I'm a big believer in the idea that objects and consumption are a big marker of the cultural environment of the place. However, despite being able to see some things about, for example, the Irish culture and decorating and tastes and imports, etc., I do think I would have at least found out more concrete facts about the history if I had gone to the military section first, as there wasn't much context in the other sections. I didn't film the inside of this exhibition, mainly because I wanted to encourage visiting the exhibition yourself and looking around it. I didn't feel comfortable filming due to the sensitive nature of the exhibition itself. So if you're ever in Dublin, I definitely recommend that you go to see the Alison Laurie Addressing Our Hidden Truths exhibition. Fit check of the day too. It got very hot, so I took off my fro. Everyone I told that I was going to Ireland told me unequivocally to go drink some of that dark stout beer thing. Guinness mainly. Is that a stout? You can tell I don't drink beer. It was, I guess, more drinkable than the other beer adjacent things I've had, but I did feel a bit like Brittany Broski in that one kombucha meme. You know what I'm talking about, like this one. Because honestly, meh. I was only in Dublin for one day because afterwards I took the bus up to Belfast because I really wanted to see the Giant's Causeway and the coastline. I didn't film anything in Belfast, mainly because I was couch surfing and I didn't feel comfortable filming and uploading someone else's house. I had a very bright idea on the bus to the Causeway to put my hair up and then cover it with a corduroy headscarf that I made actually as a cut-off from the dungarees I was making earlier, which actually turned out to be a fantastic idea because the fact that this was wool blended with something plasticky and also the fact that it was quite thick actually saved me later, because as you're about to see, I'm about to get absolutely demolished by some rain. And frankly, the headscarf that I put on here is the only thing that kept my hair, at least, from getting absolutely drenched. And the bits of hair that did get drenched, I just tucked underneath and still managed to look vaguely presentable and not completely like a drowned rat. So today I'm taking my inappropriate vintage outfit and I'm hiking. You know what, walking around in my little patterned brogues really made me feel like Hercule Poirot just on a cliff in his brogues. Honestly, I came on this trip predominantly to see the Giant's Causeway and also this Carrick-a-Rede bridge. It was a beautiful bridge, and if you have a chance, I definitely recommend you go. I loved the bridge, I loved the little cliff, and when else am I going to just be chilling on a cliff after walking up a bridge that's been there since the 18th century? Of course, it is not the original bridge, but still. So I saw on the map that apparently if I go past this quarry, which side note was some Game of Thrones filming spot, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. If you go past the quarry and go down to like path and then clamber over some rocks, provided the tide is out, there will be a cave. The rain really started when I was in the cave, so let's do a little breakdown. As I mentioned first, of course, the headscarf was an invaluable addition, and I always recommend you bring some sort of head covering. The shirt, again, I have no qualms with. However, we get to an issue with the trousers because they got, well, wet and cold very quickly, as did the throw. I need to figure out a better trouser situation, and I definitely need to bring a cardigan with me next time, for the love of God, because frankly, it's just not warm enough, not against the wind and not against the rain. Oh my god, my hair has gone mental. So next stop, Giant's Causeway, but the thing is, there is no internet because I am where? On a cliff. So, you're like probably thinking, how the hell are you gonna check anything how to get there? Being insane pays off. I've got here the bus timetable. So I have a bus at 11:49, 12:19, 12:49, and considering it is currently 11:42, I'm not going to make the 11:49, so I am going to now take a very calm and leisurely stroll to catch the 12:19 bus. Don't rely on the internet, people. The internet will fail you. Your crazy planning where you write out everything, including bus times, will not. This is where I found out that you apparently don't hail buses by sticking your hand out like you do in London, because I just stuck my hand out to stop the bus and the bus driver just waved at me and kept going. That's a bit sad. That being said, Google did lie to me because they told me to get off a stop early than I actually should have, and now I'm walking in the rain. However, I'm walking through a field, and it's a very nice field. An absolutely lovely summer weather we're having for this hike. I don't know why everyone on the trail is so mad. I'm having a great time, and I'm the one that's underdressed. It's all about the vibe, and the vibes are good. Right, so I could go back, but why would I do that? So I've got to go up there, then go up there some steps, and then go around. I think that's reasonable. Very reasonable. All I have to do now is walk back up this path, past some sheep, and return to the visitor centre at the Giant's Causeway, where I hope they will let me dry my clothes. Spoiler alert, they did not, and I ended up, well, kicked out of the public bathroom. After another night at the couchsurfing hosts, I was off to the airport. I am flying from Belfast to Gdańsk because there were no flights that were normally priced to Warsaw. And somehow I am awake despite being kept up by a very lovely playful cat most of the night. However, this is where the problems started. The sinking feeling I felt when the plane was so delayed that I would miss my connecting train from Gdańsk to Białystok, and I'd now have to rebook for a more expensive express train to go through Warsaw. Finally made it to Gdańsk, worse for wear, being bombarded by Germanic architecture. Watch me eat my first warm, proper meal in about 3 days. Honestly, the milk bars in Poland hit different. Yes, a whole meal for 20 zloty, thank you. So I actually had a third outfit prepared for Gdańsk, however I made a mistake that I brought a shirt that was not, well, wearable without an iron. It was made of viscose and it creased like mad. So my last tip for you today is to bring clothing that you do not have to iron if you're backpacking. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day.